This is KGW News at noon.
Well, today, hundreds of thousands more Oregonians become eligible for the COVID vaccine. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nina Melhoff. That includes those 16 and older with underlying health conditions. It also includes frontline workers in grocery stores, banks, retail, public transit, and the Postal Service. We talked to two people who now qualify for the vaccine, and they both say they want to do their part in getting out of this pandemic.
As far as like the people that I serve and my coworkers, a lot of them, have issues or have been really looking forward to, this time. So yeah, I'm hoping that by the mid to late summer that we're all kind of, back in being comfortable around each other again.
I just looked in depth at the criteria and saw that I checked some of the boxes. So it was a relief when I saw that I could do it, because I was beginning to think I might be lumped in with the general population for a while.
On Friday, Governor Kate Brown also changed the guidelines to say families of those frontline workers can now book their appointments, and that includes families of frontline workers who've already become vaccinated, including healthcare, teachers, and first responders. Well, in Washington, Governor Jay Inslee says everyone 16 and up can get their shot starting April 15th. But when that day rolls around, health officials say be patient. There's not going to be enough available doses for everyone at once, so appointment slots may be a few days or weeks past the 15th. Well, we have a great resource up on our website if you're looking for information on how to book your appointment. Click on the Getting the Vaccine tab on the top of KGW's homepage. We have links for where to sign up, depending on your county. Well, this week, kids in Southwest Washington are on spring break, and health officials want everyone to remember the safety precautions because COVID cases are rising in Clark County. Here's Tim Gordon with an update from state leaders on where things stand.
So we got tremendous progress going on here in Clark County. I do want to say we have tremendous concerns, though, as well.
On one hand, vaccinations are increasing and available to everyone age 16 and up mid-April. Schools are reopening with hybrid learning, something that's been a long time coming. But new coronavirus cases are increasing after dropping and leveling off. So there are different messages about the pandemic for us to understand. Despite dire warnings of a fourth surge in parts of the country, the Centers for Disease Control says if you are fully vaccinated, you can travel in the United States without getting tested for COVID or going into quarantine. But you should still wear a mask, socially distance, and avoid crowds. The crowd on the Salmon Creek softball diamond is 11 and 12-year-old girls all masked up for practice.
It's absolutely amazing. The girls have responded really well to keeping their masks on.
Melanie Heaton is a coach, but also the girls' softball commissioner.
I'm just happy to get out and be able to play and swing. It's been too long. It's been too long since we have been able to do this.
Masks for players, yep, and parents are staying 6 feet apart from each other.
Just off the field, Liz Burke loves being here, seeing daughter Presley play ball.
Oh my gosh, it feels amazing just to be outside and watching them get some exercise and do some things and interact with other friends.
Outside is better, according to Clark County Public Health. The county recorded 74 new coronavirus cases Friday, double the week's daily average, and the highest one-day total since late January. Public Health urges people this spring break to avoid large gatherings, gather outdoors if possible, and if indoors, keep it to 10 or fewer people from outside your household. Liz Burke gets it.
I try to follow the rules, not necessarily agree with all of them, but I'm doing my part, because I want to be open just like everybody else.
Tim Gordon, KGW News.
Love hearing that sound of the bat, right? Well, pre-K through second graders in Beaverton started hybrid learning today. Students are only in class a couple of hours. Just like other districts, Beaverton is going back in phases. On Thursday, third through fifth grade students will go back. The plan is to have all kids back in the hybrid learning model by the 19th. Portland Public also had second through fifth graders start back today. The youngest kids started last week. They're also on a similar schedule as Beaverton. The plan is to have middle and high school students start the week of the 19th. Families get to decide whether they want to go with the hybrid in-person system or stick with online learning. All right, let's check in on our Monday forecast now. The sunshine was streaming through the newsroom windows. I can't wait to get out there, Keely. How's it looking?
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. Take a look at this shot from our sky. Beautiful shot of Mount Hood and blue skies. Temperatures warming up nicely. We're at 54 degrees, a little breezy in the Dalles with winds out of the northwest of 15 miles per hour, but not bad. We'll head over to the coast. This is Newport, Yaquina Bay, where it was at freezing this morning, and now we're at 51 degrees, and here in the metro area, 50 degrees. The winds are calm. We've got sunshine at Stoller Vineyards as well. We're at 50 degrees. Here is how your day is shaping up. And your weather headlines for today. Sunny and clear through tomorrow. Temperatures reach the low 60s today, but we're talking near 70 tomorrow. And the clouds and the chance of rain returns on Wednesday. But hey, the rain in the valley means a little bit of snow up in the Cascades. It's good news for skiers and snowboarders.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Spring skiing. All right, Kelly, thank you. Today, Oregon lawmakers are discussing a proposed bill that aims to increase help for alcohol addiction and recovery. Now, we first told you back in February, a different bill would have raised taxes on Oregon-made beer and wine nearly 3,000%. That bill died after outrage from those in the industry. But now, the same addiction recovery nonprofit that wanted that bill is back at it again with a different proposal. This one would ultimately raise prices. We just don't know how much. Here's Kristen Severance.
We've been on this corner since 2004.
As the owner of the oldest distillery in Portland, Tom Berkalow knows how to pivot, especially now.
Well, 2020 kind of sucked.
New Deal got into the hand sanitizing business, craft cocktails, anything they could to keep going.
Learning how to do online, learning how to do curbside, bringing out products more for consumers.
But Berkalow and other distillery owners worry a proposed tax hike on their industry may be the hardest hurdle yet.
A small distillery that sells out of a tasting room is actually the most heaviest taxed entity in the state of Oregon. So we're kind of like, we've been kicked a lot, and this is just not really thought out. It's almost like they're going after the little guys.
The proposed bill would have raised the tax on beer from $2.60 a barrel to $72.60. The tax on wine from 65 cents on a barrel to $10.65. And the tax on distilled spirits would have been determined by the Oregon Liquor Control Commission every 2 years. Beer and wine sellers would have had to pay that cost up front and charge customers more. The bill, pushed by the group Oregon Recovers, would have meant millions for addiction and recovery services. John Poteet is the owner of Shine Distillery Grill.
So coming after the distilleries, the breweries, the wineries, the cideries, you know, we're small people. If they want to raise money for addiction, why don't they go after the pharmaceuticals and start taxing aspirin? The pharmaceuticals are the ones who produced all the opioids and made billions.
After outrage from the beer and wine industry, the bill died. Now, Oregon Recovers wants the state to create a task force to figure out how to reduce alcohol consumption statewide by 15% by increasing alcohol costs. Mike Marshall is the executive director of Oregon Recovers.
What would the money go towards?
So first of all, the money, don't just look at it as revenue. You have to look at it. The issue here is how do we use price to reduce harmful consumption, particularly underage drinking and binge drinking. We have two of the highest rates in the country. Underage drinking is a pipeline into addiction rates later in life, as is binge drinking. And binge drinking has gone up through the roof during COVID.
While the breweries and wineries in Oregon pay some of the lowest taxes in the country, Oregon has the second highest tax on spirits in the U.S. at more than 22%. Only Washington is higher at more than 32%. I asked Mike, why even include distilleries in this tax hike?
To not address alcohol across the board, it's a toxic, addictive carcinogen. We need to bring down the consumption of excessive consumption down. It's going to save an awful lot of money. More importantly, it's going to save lives.
I understand where they're coming from. I think most people in my industry support, money for addiction and recovery and all of that. But what I've heard proposed is not well thought out, at least from the distiller's perspective.
Now, the House Behavioral Health Committee will be meeting today to consider creating this task force. If approved, the bipartisan group made up of people from the healthcare and alcohol industry would have to decide how to reduce drinking by 15%, that's across the state, by increasing alcohol costs. And they'll have to do that by November. Back to you.
All right, Kristen Severance reporting for us. Thank you. The nation's second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, is in Eugene today for a visit. Vice President Kamala Harris's husband has been part of the Biden administration's effort to promote the COVID relief bill. After his stop in Eugene, he'll head to Washington for a visit to Yakima.